Oh, hey, welcome to my home office. Thank you for stopping by. I've got to be honest, you guys are here a little bit earlier than I was expecting, but you know what? I'll show you guys a tour anyway, even though it's not completely finished. I'll show you guys where we're at. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm going to show you a peek inside my office, this very small 11 by 10 room that could almost be a bedroom, but it can't legally because it doesn't have a closet. And I'll show you guys how I turn this glorified entryway to the garage into something that I have to sit in for 8 hours a day. So although yes, the office does currently look pretty sick, it didn't used to always look this way. In fact, it was actually just kind of a gray room. And I'm not gonna lie, I might be an industrial designer, I might be a product designer, I might be great at sketching, but I am not an interior designer. So this room is definitely not at its max potential. In fact, it's more of a honestly a sneaker man cave than anything else. But while it might not be perfect for me, it's my home. And I have to be here because I bought this house a year ago and I'm kind of stuck with it now. In all seriousness though, I really am happy with this home office. Like I said, I'm not an interior designer, but I feel like it came out pretty well and is perfect for exactly what I'll be using it for, which is editing videos, doing streaming stuff like Twitch and YouTube and good stuff like that, and also filming unboxings for the tech channel, which I think might actually start taking place right there. You can't see it right now, but right over there. So to start things off, let's talk about the color palette that I decided to go with for this room. So as you all saw, originally this room was painted gray. That's the color that it was when we moved into it. The problem was the paint that they had used was matte and just really cheap, so it picked up stains from pretty much just looking at it. So I decided to go with a paint that would be stain resistant, smudge resistant. You could sort of wipe the wall if you needed to get something off of it, and I ended up going with some super durable paints from Sherwin-Williams. So for 3 out of the 4 walls, I decided to go with a very cool white, almost very light gray color. For the trim and the doors, I decided to go with the semi-gloss white, and in my opinion that creates a really nice subtle contrast between the walls and the doors and the trim. And then for the final wall, the accent wall, I decided to go for a dark blue color. Originally I was thinking like a dark gray, but after looking at some swatches, I just wasn't happy with how cold it made the room feel, and blue, even though it's still a cool color, it definitely gives the room a little bit more friendliness and a little bit more warmth. So obviously the purpose of this room is to be my office, where I spend a lot of time editing videos, working on sock designs, drawing sneakers, playing games, Twitch streaming, whatever the case may be. And because of that, I have a lot of tech in this room, and most of that tech is actually housed on top of my L-shaped desk. So this desk is actually a powered sit-stand desk by Autonomous, so I can press a button on the side of the desk and it'll raise and lower to whatever height I need it to be, whether I'm sitting or standing, depending on the working situation. When I do decide to sit when I'm working, which is basically all the time, I don't use the standing desk as much as I should, I end up sitting in my Secret Lab Omega. So this is a gaming focused desk chair, which I absolutely love. It's very well priced for what it is. I got mine in this really nice black finish with red leather stitching and then of course gold stitching on the branding. Super nice looking chair. Eventually I think I would like to upgrade to the all black Titan because I think it'll fit better with my desk setup, but for now I'm super happy with this, and if you guys want to check this out, I've got an affiliate link to Secret Lab in the description below. And then on top of the desk, I've got my 2 computers set up. I've got my 2021 MacBook Pro 16-inch, and then I've also got my NZXT desktop. So I've actually dropped videos on both of these computers on my tech channel, which I definitely recommend checking out if you haven't yet. I've left a link to that in the top of the description below. And not only that, I've actually left links to everything that we talk about in today's video in the description below if you want to grab anything or maybe find out exactly what tech that I use. Maybe you missed it in the video, or maybe I didn't really go over it in the video. But for my MacBook, because that's my main powerhouse when it comes to video editing, I use Final Cut Pro as my main video editing software, so I completely spec'd out the computer. I went with the 16-inch, I went with the M1 Max, I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM, and I've got a 4TB SSD. In fact, the SSD is the only thing I didn't completely max because past 4TB, it didn't feel like the value was really there for me, and I have a lot of standalone SSDs and hard drives that I can use if I really need the extra space. I've been incredibly happy with this 2021 M1 MacBook. It's definitely one of the best pickups I've had all year over any of the sneakers that I own. I love this computer and I use it every single day. For my second computer, or as I like to call it, the sock design machine, because this is where I do all my apothecary designs, I've got an NZXT NZXT build. So NZXT makes cases and other computer components like water cooling systems, but they also have this really cool program called NZXT build, where you can actually choose off-the-shelf parts and have them build it for you for I think like $100, and then they ship it to you within 5 days. And as someone who really appreciates the PC building community, in fact most of the videos that I watch on YouTube are of PC builders like Gamers Nexus and Linus Tech Tips and Jay's 2 Cents and people like that. As much as I love that community and I understand generally what they're talking about, I don't have the skill set and or the time to try and build my own PC for the first time, and as much as I'd like to, I just really wanted a completely spec'd out PC with all the parts that I wanted to be built for me, and NZXT was able to offer that to me and send it to me in like 5 days, and I was super happy with it. Now to be fair, doing an NZXT build is a little bit more expensive than just buying the parts yourself and building it yourself, but at the end of the day, I know it's done well. The cable management is done really well inside the system, and I was able to get all the components that I wanted without having to pay resale, like a 3080 Ti, which you'd have to buy on like StockX and eBay if you really wanted to grab it, whereas because I bought it through them, I got the Founders Edition for essentially retail. And so far, I've been super happy with the whole system. I game on it a little bit, but it's definitely more of a sock design machine and a little bit of a Twitch streaming machine. And if you guys want to see a full rundown of all the parts that went into the system, you guys should definitely check out my full video on my tech channel, which is linked in the description below and at the top of the screen. As far as computer monitors, I've got a little bit of a mismatched setup, but that was done on purpose. So the main monitor that I use is a Dell 4K display that has excellent color accuracy. And the reason I use this monitor primarily is because this is the one that I use for design, and if I do any video editing on the system at all, this is the monitor that I use because the color accuracy is really good for what it is. And then to the right of that, I've got my MSI curved monitor, which MSI actually sent to me. Huge thank you to them for that. And what's great about this monitor is that even though it isn't 4K, it's 165 Hz, it's curved, and it really handles any game that I throw at it. I've been really happy with it, and it's super fast. For sound, I have the Audio Engine A2 Plus speakers. I've been super happy with these. What's great about them is that not only do they hook up to your computer, you can also use them as Bluetooth speakers, and I love the aesthetic of them. They come in a couple different colors, but I bought the white and black colorway, which I actually bought like 2 years ago, way before I planned to do this desk setup, and it actually ended up working with the color scheme perfectly. As you can see between the two monitors, I've got my webcam setup, which essentially is just a Sony a6500 with a wide-angle lens on it. Plus, because it's 4K capable, I'm able to just clip things right out of my stream and make them entire videos. It's super easy. I love this setup, and I've actually had this camera for a long time, and it retired from being a B-roll camera to a webcam camera, and honestly, I'm glad I did it. I wish I had done it sooner. For peripherals, I'm MSI'd out. They sent over a care package a little while back, so I've been using an MSI mouse. I believe it's the GM50, and then for the keyboard, I believe it's a GK50 Slim. I'm really happy with it so far. I'm not a Switch nerd when it comes to keyboards. I don't need like the best Cherry MX switches, which while I understand, yes, those are great, I just don't feel like I need that personally. I don't need to spend the money on another hobby that is just gonna drain my bank account, so I'm happy with the keyboard that I have. Continuing on with my streaming setup, I've got a Rode mic adjustable arm, and then on top of the Rode mic stand, I've actually got a Blue Yeti mic, which is kind of like the most popular mid-range mic that you can buy. Next up, we've got something that I literally just picked up, and that's the 2021 Wacom Cintiq 16 Pro. So Wacom is kind of like the gold standard when it comes to drawing tablets, and the Cintiq Pro line is the top of the line. The version that I picked up is the 16-inch version. There's also a larger 24-inch version. Honestly, that version was too expensive for me, so I went for the 16. It's an incredible tablet. I definitely recommend Wacom. They have a lot of different options when it comes to drawing tablets, whether you're just starting out or whether you're a professional. It's a great brand to go with. Next to that, we've got my go-to pair of headphones, and that's the Sony 1000 XM4. This pair of noise-canceling headphones, in my opinion, is the best that you can buy. It's a little bit pricey, but it's the most amazing noise cancellation you'll ever hear. The sound quality is awesome. I use it when I'm traveling. I use it when I'm video editing. I actually did a full video on that on my tech channel. In fact, a lot of the stuff in this room I did full videos on my tech channel, so again, make sure to check that out. Subscribe if you haven't yet. But if you're looking for an incredible pair of noise-canceling over-ear headphones, that's the one to go with. Right next to that, I've got my portable projector, the Nebula Mars 2 Pro. This is actually something that I picked up in the summertime to do some cool outdoor movies with, but I ended up really just using it in my office as a way to play N64. Regardless, it's a great projector. The battery life is incredible. The sound quality on this projector is also amazing for the size of it. It's a great portable projector. The video quality is amazing. Everything about it really makes this projector a great value in my opinion. Just above the desk, we've got this incredible piece of art. It's actually a print skateboard by Steph Morris. She's an incredible artist. She does hyper-realistic drawings of sneakers and jerseys and sports things, and she usually does like limited print runs of her art. In this case, it was a limited print run of her Air Jordan 1 sketch on this skateboard. I think it came out incredibly well. Not only does the drawing look incredible, I mean it looks like a photo, but it's also of my favorite sneaker silhouette of all time, the Air Jordan 1. Incredible shoe, incredible artist, and I'm so stoked to have this piece of art. And then over to the right, I've got my old school YouTube 100K plaque. I got this plaque, I believe, back in like 2017 when I hit 100,000 subscribers. It's the old school one. It's not the cool new metal one that I actually really like. Hopefully if I ever hit 1 million, I can get that cool like gold metal one that they have for 1 million subscriber plaques now. Hopefully one day we'll get there. And then to round off the tech side of things, I guess we'll talk about my Fender guitar collection. Okay, I guess it's not really a collection because I've only got one guitar and one bass, but the Fender guitar that I have is a Fender Mexican Strat. It comes in this beautiful sunburst finish, and I absolutely love the way that it sounds. I used to be a Gibson guy before, I guess an Epiphone guy, but there's something about that classic styling of the Strat that I just loved, and I just came over to Fender and I haven't looked back. The bass, as you can tell, is a Fender P bass. It's actually a 60th anniversary P bass. I believe it came out in 2011. I absolutely love the natural finish that it has, and it also sounds incredible. And then powering this whole musical setup, I've got a Line 6 practice amp, which is a little bit underpowered, but it does the job and it fills up the room more than enough. So let's move on to decor, which honestly is mostly sports memorabilia. I'm a huge fan of the Sixers, I'm a huge fan of the Ravens, and because of that, I've got a lot of signed Ravens and Sixers stuff. So starting off with the jerseys that we've got hung on the wall, the first jersey that we have is a Julius Erving jersey in bright red. Dr. J is one of the greatest Sixers of all time, so I'm super excited that I'm actually able to have one of his autographed jerseys in my office that I get to see every single day. And then the other jersey that I have on the opposing wall is a signed Lamar Jackson jersey. If you guys are avid watchers of my channel, you probably have seen the other signed Lamar Jackson jersey that I have, the purple jersey that I keep over in my studio. This jersey is a permanent fixture. This one's hung on the wall. That one I kind of move around depending on the color palette that I'm going for videos. The purple just works really well with a lot of shoes. And this black jersey I put in the office because it's a great all-around everyday jersey that I can look at, and it goes with everything because it's pretty much just a black and white jersey. So I've actually had all of my jerseys framed at this place in South Jersey called MFC Authentics. And the reason I go there, besides the fact that they do great work, is because they also offer this really cool non-reflective glass. And the reason that's important to me is because all the jerseys that I have that are framed are usually in shots, whether it's in a video or whether it's in B-roll or something like that. So it's really important for the lights that I'm using to light the video to not reflect off of anything glass that I have in the studio. So the fact that they offer this non-reflective coating or non-reflective glass is a huge thing for me, and it's great because I'm still able to show off the jerseys and not really have any lighting issues. Seriously though, if you're in the South Jersey or Philly area, MFC Authentics is like the greatest place to get your stuff framed. I love them. I've been going to them for years. Definitely check them out. Next up, I've got two signed basketballs from two legends. One of them is signed by Magic Johnson, one of the greatest Lakers of all time, and the other one is signed by Joel Embiid, my favorite Sixer of the moment. And then the final autographed sports thing that I have in the office is this signed Jonathan Ogden Hall of Fame 2013 Ravens football. Jonathan Ogden is one of the greatest Ravens players of all time. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the first, if not the first, career Raven to enter the Hall of Fame. Really incredible player, and I love the football. So most of the decor or decorative stuff that I have in the office is actually on this bookshelf, which I bought from the Raymore and Flanagan outlet. It's actually the exact same bookshelf I have in the studio. I loved it so much over there that I got a second one for the office. Really happy with it. Obviously on the bookshelf, I do actually have some books on it, some of my favorite books. We've got The Millionaire Next Door, Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. I know that's sort of a controversial one for some people, but I'm a big fan of Dave Ramsey personally. We've got Draplin Design Co., written by Aaron Draplin, the guy who designed the Apothecary logo, also one of the most prolific and talented graphic designers out there. We've got Living the Good Life by Martha Stewart, which is actually signed by Martha Stewart. Little known fact, I actually interned for Martha Stewart for like 6 months back in college. Wild experience. And then some other books like Phil Knight's Shoe Dog and Preachers and Sneakers by Ben Kirby. Really awesome guy, definitely check that book out. Then surrounding the books and kind of finishing off the office tour, we've got a couple different pairs of sneakers. I'm sure a lot of them you already recognize. A lot of these sneakers are actually sneakers that I've designed myself or sneakers that I've worked with other designers to design. And 5 of those sneakers are the We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Origin, which is my first signature sneaker ever, designed from scratch. Really love the way it came out. We did 5 colorways of the shoe. And actually right now on weareunderdogs.com, which I've got linked in the description below, you can use my code SETH40 and get 40% off of any of the sneakers that are still in stock, whether it's my sneakers or someone else's sneakers. Definitely worth checking out. Some of the best sneakers I've ever worn, not just because I designed some of them, but they're also extremely high quality. And then the 2 other sneakers that I designed on this shelf are the Planters Peanuts Crunch Force 1 sneaker, which was a sort of collaboration between myself, Planters, Peanuts, Garrison, and VaynerMedia. Super cool project. I designed that to look like a 80s basketball sneaker, one of my favorite sort of styles of sneakers ever. And then the final sneaker that I designed, which is actually another We Are Underdogs collaboration, is the We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Granite. This shoe I based heavily off retro running sneakers. I love the way this shoe came out, and is probably my favorite shoe design I've ever had made at the moment. I'm sure it'll change as I design more, hopefully, but really happy with how it came out. And then the final two sneakers that I have on the shelf are two of my favorite sneakers from my sneaker collection, probably some of my favorite sneakers of all time. The first one is the very first Nike Air Yeezy 1 colorway to ever release, the Nike Air Yeezy 1 Zen Gray, Kanye's first release with Nike. That's actually a dead stock size 9. It's one of my grails. I still cannot believe that I have it in my collection. And then the other pair of sneakers is one that's been heavily documented on my channel, and that's the signed pair of off-white Air Jordan 1s. So this shoe and this experience, I give a lot of credit to my channel really taking off. So I actually won a contest through Nike to have the chance to go talk to Virgil Abloh for about 10 minutes about design, and then after talking to him, I had the chance to buy one of the sneakers from the 10 collection before it came out. And then I was able to have it signed by Virgil Abloh himself. That's one of the craziest things that's ever come out of sneakers for me. I still can't believe it, and it's by far one of my most important sneakers in my collection, if not my favorite pair, just because of the story behind it and the fact that I actually got to meet him and talk to him. Incredible experience, and I love that pair of sneakers so much. But that pretty much wraps up my home office tour. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys want to see a full studio tour, because I actually have my entire studio in another bedroom just down the hallway from here, let me know in the comment section down below. And because I spent most of my teenage years in the mid-2000s, it has been a dream of mine to end off a video with an MTV Cribs quote. So here we go. You can go anywhere you want, but you just got to get the F out of here. I wouldn't say that to you. You guys are awesome. I would never kick you guys out. Unless you were here without me asking, in which case that's weird. Don't do that. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Peace. I don't know how to end these kinds of videos. This is weird.